Hey now, cats, we're back this week in the Balls from Ellwood show. And with me, I'm sure you'll recognize this cat right here. If you've watched Comic Book Man, you've watched, Shakespeare's Shitstorm and many other things, so you're going to recognize the man, the myth, the motherfucking legend, Ming Chen.
Oh, what an introduction, my friend! What an introduction.
Oh, thank you,
That's
man.
like a trauma-worthy introduction, my friend.
Yeah,
But
I've been
I
waiting to talk to you for such a long time, dude. I just want to ask you real quick,
okay, ask away.
real quick before we get to the movie related
Yes.
stuff. I want to ask you, where did you grow up at?
I grew up. I lived in a lot of places. So I grew up mainly in the Midwest. So we were in Western Pennsylvania, but I was born in Euclid, Ohio, so not terribly far from here. And from there, yeah, I've lived in 10 different places, mainly in the Michigan area. So that's where I grew up. That's where I learned to be a nerd. And
Well,
yeah, I consider myself a Midwesterner,
that
even though I live
actually
in New Jersey now.
that actually leads me to my next question, because I wanted to know what actually cemented your love of comics and like all things nerdy.
There are a couple things. I got my first comic when I was 6 years old. When I was in the first grade, a kid in school had an extra copy of Avengers 214.
Ooh.
So that was my very first comic book. Nothing particularly special about it. If you go and buy mint copies, maybe $10. But on the cover is Iron Man fighting the Ghost Rider. Really cool cover. And there were, yeah, that one comic changed my life. And then when I was living, I spent time in South Bend, Indiana. And I remember one of my nerdy friends was like, "Hey, somebody opened up a comic book shop." I'm like that's all they have? It's all comics? Because before that, we were buying our comics at the drugstore, the spinner racks.
I used to do that when I was a kid.
Yeah. I was like, "There's a whole store just comic books." He's like, "Yeah." So we ran down there, and I remember I got there and I was like, "Wow, this is cool." Batman, Superman. And I was like, "What's this?" And the guy who owned the store was like, "Oh, this is about four turtles. They get hit by radioactive waste, and they turn into ninjas. And they
Nice.
fight crime in the city." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, they're called the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles." I'm like, "Done. I want to buy every copy."
And
So
the rest is history.
yeah, that kind of changed my life there. And yeah, growing up in the Midwest, it was it was at a time where all this stuff around us not cool, not cool. You didn't tell people you collected comics. You didn't tell people you watched Star Wars 87 times a year. You didn't. You just didn't.
That is so relatable to me, because growing up, it seems like all the things that people used to pick on me and beat me up for now
Yeah.
everybody loves, like horror movies and like comics and
Yeah.
all that stuff. It's all kind of
Yeah.
became mainstream.
And I knew it was cool, but nobody else, you just didn't talk about it. So I found the two kids in class who knew what like adamantium was, who knew who the X-Men were, who loved Star Wars as much as I did.
Oh, dude.
And that was my crew. Two guys out of 400 people in my high school class, but we had a good crew. We didn't tell people we were nerds, but we go to each other's houses after school every day, play 8-bit Nintendo.
Oh, dude, I still play it, Nintendo.
Yeah, watch James Cameron movies, play D&D. So that was my crew. So I didn't care if other people didn't think it was cool. But at the heart of it, once you discover, the X-Men and, all those, you want to tell everybody about it, but we couldn't,
Because, well, you could try, but then the people don't care.
Yeah, a lot of blank looks. A lot of blank looks. And then even my parents are, you're wasting your time collecting comics. Why are you playing so many video games? You should be studying. This is going to rot your brain. But
did they ever come to you now and be like, "We're so sorry, we should have never done"?
Not my parents. And the people who used to make fun of me, they don't.
Oh, same here, man.
They don't apologize,
No.
but it's more like, "Hey, so we just saw Avengers Endgame. So all that stuff with the stones, like, is that all canon? Like, where do I read more about this?" I'm like, "Here, let's sit down. Let me, this could take about an hour, but I'll tell you everything, because they're seeking my advice now." So it took 20, 30 years, but better late than never, right?
Same, man. I actually I become like a regular caller on the Howard Stern show for probably about 14 years
Yeah.
now, and I meet people that I went to school with that used to hate me and make fun of me, and now they want to try to be my friend.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you could probably relate. Have you ever met somebody, that wasn't so nice to you when you're younger? Now they met you. Now
Sure.
they want to go on.
Oh, sure. Yeah. It's
How do you handle a situation?
I'm
like
fine with that. If I've learned anything from the Star Wars universe or comic books, redemption. You
Nice.
can always redim yourself. So
You're a better man than I.
yeah. I'll still remember like when you gave me grief, but if
You
you
just
try
let it
to,
go.
if you want to be one of us, then I'm all for it. Yeah.
Let me ask you. I mean, the stuff that we like is a very niche thing.
Yeah.
Whenever you like kind of quote unquote nerdy stuff, I mean, does it ever, does your passions ever get in the way of, relationships with, say, family or friends? Has that ever been a problem?
Only as much as like right now, like I have so much crap because I go to Comic Cons every weekend, and then I'm very lucky. I'm at a point where sometimes people just send me stuff.
Ah,
Whether it be individuals, sometimes companies will send stuff, which is awesome.
so they want your blessing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's all great stuff, but I I don't have a Giant Man Comics. I don't have a retail store. It's piling up. And I have a storage unit, and I've built a couple podcast studios, so a lot of it has gone on the walls over there. But even still at home, it's piling up, and so that's most of the grief I catch is from my wife. Like, you get this crap out of here. Like, you do you need this? Do you need all these Super 7 figures? Do you need all these statues? I had a Full Metal Cap Shield my friend machined for me. Like, it was just leaning on the
dude.
wall for a while. I was like, this needs to be in a display case, which I eventually did get. But yeah, and first world problems for sure. But I think that's the main thing. That's yeah. I think my wife is probably fed up with me.
I hear the same thing, man. Like, can you get so many more doll babies or T-shirts or
Yeah,
I have like how many Blu-rays.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
because we go to conventions all the time, and it's like I need another house just to put all the collectibles.
Yeah, and we're
stuff in it.
collectors. When I was growing, I didn't have a lot of money, so
Same. I grew from
maybe if I got like a GI Joe figure a month, I was
it
lucky.
meant something though. They
And
meant
then
something.
yeah,
It
and
was
then
more
maybe
important.
big occasion, birthday, Christmas, I get like a vehicle. So to go from that to when you start making your own money, you start buying your own stuff, and then but now we're in a time where like all the stuff we loved in '80s, '90s, they're redoing now, but bigger, better, and unfortunately more expensive. Like hundreds of dollars now, but they've elevated the quality so much, and they're tugging our heartstrings, man. They know we're gonna buy it. They know. So yeah, it's hard to pass stuff up like that.
Well, I got two more for you, and I want to get into like
Yeah,
Shakespeare
yeah,
shitstorm. Let me ask you this:
yes.
is there anything that you enjoy that you think perhaps fans of yours might actually be surprised at?
I love this question. It's kind of like what the guilty pleasure question,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, my friend Lainey, who I love dearly, she got me into drag shows. She's like very passionate about drag and like RuPaul's Drag Race.
Oh, dude, I love
So
that.
yeah,
I love that stuff.
so I went up to LA. So I have the best drag shows out there. So she took me to this place in West Hollywood. I was like,
Oh,
holy
nice.
crap, this is so much fun, man.
Oh, they're blast.
This is
man.
great. Yeah. So I mean, that was like the high end. Some of the RuPaul's Drag Race contestants go out there and perform on Monday nights in West Hollywood. But even the smaller ones at a local bar or whatever, I'll always go to. Like, it's so much fun. Usually the drag queens immediately, like, I don't really look like the typical drag audience. So they singled me out and they make fun of me during the show, and they draw a lot of attention to me. But yeah, it's so much fun, man. But I think that's something. Yeah, I don't know if a lot of people know that, so that's cool. That's
Great
one
answer.
of the things,
Great
yeah,
answer.
for sure.
Let me ask you this: have you ever had a supernatural experience?
I believe in the supernatural. I definitely think spirits and ghosts and trapped souls, and I saw The Crow. I believe, yeah, that since we're so tortured that
Hopefully,
our
you're
soul
talking about the
doesn't.
old one and not the new
Oh,
one.
Brandon Lee for sure, man, for life. Yeah, that one. Have I had an experience though? I mean, I've seen orbs. I felt
Yeah,
cold,
that counts.
cold parts of rooms. Have not seen like a full body apparition like in Ghostbusters. I want to though.
You haven't had a ghost below you or anything?
No, unfortunately, no. Fortunately, no. I'm waiting for that. I just want to see one first, then the blowjob probably comes next, and then yeah, But I do have a proton pack in the studio, so maybe that's why they don't
I'm a
appear.
big Ghostbusters fan, dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
don't even get me started.
Yeah, for sure.
My wife's so sick of it.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
We
yes,
sure did.
for
I went to
sure.
the Sedgwick. I actually seen the Sedgwick when I was in there.
In New York.
Oh yeah,
it's
dude,
so
it was great.
Man. That's
Well,
awesome.
I only got a couple more for you.
Yeah.
I just want to ask you, what is the first comic arc that elicited an emotional response from you?
Man, there are several. Dark Knight Returns for sure was like just so different. I think before I read Dark Knight Returns, it was just kind of, the stories were more geared toward kids. They're kind of for all ages, and yeah, I don't want to say watered down, but it was just kind of that age where they wanted to sell books, so they appeal to everybody. It was so dark, and there's some violence and just so different. I was like, holy crap! And my friend, I was my friend's copy. he's like, yeah, this is comics now. And I think Kevin Smith kind of went through the same thing because we up until then we're watching like Batman '66, like Aunt Harriet, and all the Chief O'Hara, like, and that was kind of when things got darker and more real, and I was like, whoa, man, like this is this where comics are going to? And that's kind of when like Vertigo, Image started getting darker. We started Spawn, Preacher, stuff like that. That's when it got kind of really awesome. I got way back into comics at that point for sure. That was one. I mean, the whole 80 plus issue Preacher arc really kind of cemented what I love comics now, for sure. Just so different, and I was at age I started reading. It was 18, 19. So a little more mature, and I wanted good stories, right? So
Preacher's great.
that was definitely one of them. Days of Future Past.
Oh,
that one definitely.
Yeah.
That Dark Phoenix saga. That one definitely changed things a lot for sure. Just great stories, man. Anything like Jim Lee, Chris Claremont. Anything Jim Lee touches.
Oh yeah.
Definitely read for sure.
What's one comic that people seem to really like that you just don't understand why?
Oh man, that's a good question. Because I kind of like everything. So, I mean, the one that came out that furrowed my brow, like, and I'm not saying that everybody else liked it, but for any fans of the TV show, the Jersey Shore, out there, that guy Mike the Situation made a comic once. It was so weird. I was going through the rack at our store, Jane's Not by Secret Stash, and I saw a comic called The Situation. I'm like, is this by the Jersey Shore guy? And sure enough, it was. He put out a comic book where he was Mike the Situation by day, but by night,
oh no,
he would turn into a crime fighter, and he would gym tan laundry like crime out of. There was a 4-issue series.
That sounds so bad. I have to see it.
And I was like, why did you order this? He was like, he's a Jersey guy. Like, I thought we might sell a few copies.
Dude.
And I saw that. I was like, man, if he can put in a book, like I can put in a book. And I haven't done it yet, but yeah, nice.
I've been there. It's great, man.
But like, for anybody who's been thinking about writing a book, like that guy did it, like you can do it too.
Oh, dude,
so that's kind of motivating me to finally.
That sounds
put out
so bad.
my
I love bad things.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. So.
Well, let's talk a little bit. You were actually in #Shakespeares Shitstorm.
Yeah.
As you can see, I'm a humongous Troma fan.
I love it.
He's one of my favorite people in the world.
I love it.
Well, I just want to ask you a few questions
Ask
about
away, man.
What was it like being on the set of Shakespeares Shitstorm? What was the weirdest thing they've asked you to do?
It was. I do. Yes. The guy, the Amazing Fantasy 15, my friend. 25. Let me check my bank account.
Can you show us? Hey, can you show us?
Let me see that Amazing Fantasy 15 just randomly pops in the store. Yeah. Yeah. But man, Shakespeare's Shitstorm was an amazing experience. If you watch Comic Book Man, Lloyd came in our store there, and there are 4 of us that work in the store. He kind of held a Troma Olympics to whittle it down to one winner that would be making an appearance in his next movie, and that next movie turned out to be
you won, right?
Shakespeare's Shitstorm, and I won. I pulled off the Troma scream, the head crushing, like all of that. So it was a pretty big honor, and he lived up to his promise. One day, shooting at a dive bar in Brooklyn, he's like, "Hey, today's the day. We're gonna shoot your scene today. Just show up at this time, at this place." And I did. It was a dive bar in Brooklyn. Completely trashed with green cocaine, the Tempest, as you will. And I was like, holy cow, man, you took a dive bar, made it dive here. And I remember I got there, and they were like, hey, would you, so you're seeing, we're going to put a prosthetic on you. Are you okay with latex and adhesives? Are you okay with a prosthetic? I'm like, yeah, are you like a scar or something? Like, oh, no, we got something even better for you. And if you saw Shitstorm, I snort the Tempest, and I grow an amazing set of boobs.
You do. You had a nice rack in that movie.
The most spectacular rack that I've ever seen. They strapped a pair of boobs on me that were from my teenage dreams, man. And so yeah, it was very sticky, a lot of latex. It looked real though. It looked great. They blended it in. It looked
How long
like
did it take to put the jugs on you?
yeah, about hour and a half. Yeah,
Oh,
there's
that's
some
not
very
bad.
talented makeup
So
artists.
that's like 45 minutes of boob. That's not
yeah,
bad.
and I believe the boob model was Nadia White, who was part of the Troma family.
Nice. Yeah, I know who that
they
is.
were her boobs. So and hers were very nice.
Oh, yeah. They
Yeah,
are.
I mean she
I'm a fan.
makes a lot of money off those boobs.
She
They're her
does.
money makers for sure. So that's why they're so nice. And yeah, we shot the scene. I had to do a Troma like scream. And I love Lloyd's process. You know, listen, they don't have a lot of time to waste. They don't have a lot of money to waste.
No.
So you know,
It's just
you,
like that,
you get
man.
in, shoot it, get out, and you know, we
Like
did,
guerrilla filmmaking has been my favorite thing for, like, since I was a kid.
yeah. So I couldn't screw it up, but yeah, we did a couple takes. He's like, "All right, got it, done. Move, Ming, great job. Let's move on." And so you see that scene in the movie, and it was great. That movie's crazy.
Oh, it's great. It's finally
and
coming on Brown Ray.
Brown Ray. Okay, good. I can finally get a copy. So, but yeah, that was a fun day. Yeah, my friend Jess, who is also kind of a big Troma fan in the family, she's in the scene next to me. She's kind of the younger Amy Winehouse lookalike that
Oh,
sits
nice.
next to me. She's very pretty, and yeah, very Troma. And yeah, it was a great day. It was fun working with Lloyd.
Last question. Did Lloyd give you any sort of advice that you use now in the future for anything?
Just be bold and live do the Troma way. Live your life the Troma way. So be outrageous, be crazy. Don't give a crap what other people think. Yeah, just express, give it everything. Give it everything. Whether you're screaming, running, or flashing your boobs to the whole world, or your non-boobs. But yeah, I remember after we wrapped that scene, they're like, okay, well, we're gonna take them off now. I'm like, hey, can I keep them on for a couple more hours? I kind of like this. So I
Do you have them? Did they let you have them?
no, they
Oh,
kept
man.
them because they keep
Got to
keep
use them
everything.
again.
They probably had to reuse them for something. But yeah, I kept them on for another hour or two just because I was playing with them.
I was
It
gonna
was
say. I was gonna
awesome.
ask you. That was my question. Did you play with
Oh,
your
yeah.
son boobs?
I did.
I
And
would.
even my female friends were like, "Hey, can I
Oh,
touch
nice.
those?" I'm like, "Yeah,
I never realized
Yeah.
what a nice rack you have.
Yeah. yeah." I was like, I know what I get it now. When people stare and kind of like it though.
Hey, my eyes are up here. Did you
Yeah.
ever tell anybody that?
Yes,
while
I told every girl that. Yeah, I did that. I got to kind of give it back to them a little, in a playful manner. But yeah, it was that was a fun day. And Lloyd, if you see this, yeah, I'll come out anytime you need me. Anytime.
Well, there you have it, cats. Thank
Yeah.
you so much, Ming
Dude,
Chen,
of
for being
course,
on the
man.
show.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for answering all my questions. I love
Absolutely.
you, man. It was a pleasure
Yeah,
meeting you.
dude.
Thank you.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for
Peace and
coming
love,
out,
man.
man.
Oh, dude,
Newcastle,
pleasure.
man. Let's go.
Newcastle, PA.
Let's go.
Giant Man Comics reopening. Come down, check this place out, cats. Super cool place. Thank you so much, Ming Chen.
Yeah, man. The balls, man. I got to talk to the balls.
Peace and love, sir. Peace and love.